Doc and I are going to hit up Catwoman number 60, Tini Howard. Stefano Raphael is the artist on this one. There's actually a site that's established an award called the Tini Howard Dead Comics Walking Award. Whoever has the most dead comics walking in a given month wins the award. And she's won it basically every month because all of her comic books sell like garbage.
Sub-Mediocrity is the absolute best description I have ever heard of Tini Howard. She's like somewhere just below competence and just above utter ineptitude.
And this is just a weird comic book. We're not going to talk about the art because we don't have time. I want to talk about this story. Let's get into this. I would love for you to explain what's actually going on. So here's what I understand, Doc. She now has 9 lives, and she's going to go out there and complete the most dangerous mission she could possibly think of with these extra lives. She's already lost 3 of them. Whenever she loses a life, this weird tattoo fills in on her. I thought at the beginning that her motivation in this comic book, her mission, was to stop the flamingo, the guy that eats people's faces. He's a bit of a cannibal. It looked like he had died previously, but he didn't die. He's actually in Croatia. And I thought she was supposed to stop him. But then halfway through the book, she's not doing that anymore. She's actually going to steal something. And I don't even think that Tini Howard knows what this book is about.
As you mentioned, she wants to stop this guy, but she's also trying to track down the last thing he stole before he died so that she can steal that. But she believes that if he is alive, he's part of this theater of whatever.
What'd you think on the rack on that dude with the mustache and the beard?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad rack. It was just really, I mean, okay, fine. This is one where I don't really give a shit because, like, you know, the bearded
part of
lady.
Carnival.
Yeah,
the bearded lady. Yes,
the bearded lady and the carnival.
They gave her some jugs, though, man.
Exactly, they gave her some pretty good cans. Normally, the bearded lady's pretty dumpy and yeah, kind of like that really big guy from Fight Club that had the disease that gave him tits.
Bitch tits Bob?
Yeah, bitch tits Bob. That Eduardo Flamingo guy, his score that she's trying to steal is somehow with this carnival, but she needs to go back at night, and then she maybe wants to stop them because she thinks that they're killing people.
So we get to the thing. She gets her ticket. She buys it from what appears to be an evil clown. That's probably the coolest thing about this comic visual-wise, is all of a sudden he has like snake eyes or something weird like that. And she shows up. She sneaks in. She's kind of peeking on this night show that happens. The flamingo shows up, and then she's announced as the main event. She's the one that's going to die on stage, and she starts fighting the flamingo. And I think this is the task, is she has to kill this guy because he's going to eat somebody's faces off or whatever. And as she's fighting him, someone stabs her in the neck with some type of poison or whatever and kills her. But they don't do anything with her body. Apparently, they put her, I don't know, like in a fucking clown outfit and like locked her outside the thing so she could wake up. I don't know.
Except for that seems like it's a dream. So she gets this injection and basically goes to sleep. Then she thinks she wakes up in the alley, now suddenly dressed as a clown with a bunch of cats, while the actual clown person is putting on, I guess, regular clothes. But then the next page, she wakes up and she's still in her costume, tied onto some torture rack thing. And I guess they thought...
Are you saying the alley part didn't happen?
No, it was. I think that was her dream.
Then the next thing, she wakes up, frees herself because she's got 9 lives or whatever. Now I guess she's used 4. And then all of a sudden the flamingo's like, hey, I've got this sculpture that's got a dong on it. It's worth a lot of money. But the producer of the show, who's the real bad guy, even though I eat people's faces, and you know that, I want you to team up with me and we'll steal that sculpture from him because that's what you really need, not to actually kill me. Why would she team up with a cannibal, and why would a cannibal want to team up with her? They literally just try to murder her.
First, she wants to stop him. And I can sort of see why she teams up once he explains that this carnival thing is actually the result of this little idol, her wanting to team up with him because he knows where it is.
She eats faces for a living, Doc.
I understand that, but he knows where this is. She has no intention of giving it to him. He wants to control it and get it away from the
Why would he believe that she would?
Look, he's retarded enough that after he quote unquote killed her, he didn't eat her face.
You would think if the main event was to watch someone die on stage, they would have hacked her into pieces or something more memorable than just like injecting Drano into her neck.
Yes, exactly. So now she's abandoned the whole thing about getting this guy's score because now he's alive. So now she's gonna team up with him or make him think that she's teaming up with him in order to steal the idol that's the reason why they're doing this murder carnival at night. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
It does not make any sense. The only thing that does make sense is when she does actually go and steal the idol, which is remarkably easy. She gets her hands on that thing quite easily. It's a trap. And the flamingo obviously wasn't on her side. I think he is trying to get the idol himself, so he gets all the power. Well, he's doing it in front of the producer as well. So I don't even know, man. Maybe they're trying to trap her. Maybe they're not trying to trap her. I think it just happened because it's in the script.
The best cat burglar in the world managed to get captured twice during her attempts at cat burgling or being sneaky and subterfuge. In the same issue, the best one in the world gets caught twice. Eduardo Flamingo gets the idol for a second, and then there's a whole thing with them chasing each other on motorcycles. Eduardo gets hit by a truck with the idol, and the idol gets destroyed. And
yes,
that's the fucking story.
But did Eduardo Flamingo die? Did the face eater eat it?
I'm going to go with probably not again. And she didn't bother to stick around to, cut his fucking head off or anything.
So this is the final count of what happened. She shows up to Croatia to settle the score with Flamingo, to kill him because he should already be dead because he was supposed to die in a plane crash, but also to steal his loot that he had already stolen. The mission then turned to she needed to steal the idol. So those were her 3 missions at the end. Eduardo is not dead. She does not have the idol. It's been destroyed. And she doesn't have his loot. And you're like, oh, wow, she's completely incompetent. She has all these extra lives so she can do the most dangerous missions possible. And she literally accomplished nothing. And then the big reveal, I guess, and this was one of the worst pieces of storytelling I've ever seen. She didn't actually lose a life because the Drano didn't go into her vein. It went into her muscle. And that made her pass out and appear dead.
Yes. It wasn't enough to kill her. It only hit the muscle.
Would you trust me to inject your muscle with Drano, knowing that you will not die? You will only appear to be dead temporarily.
No, I would not. I would not trust you to do that. So she got lucky, but she failed at everything. This comic is literally...
It couldn't even commit to the death part, man.
No, it couldn't commit to anything. Literally nothing was accomplished in this except for 22 pages were written and drawn and sold to any schmuck willing to buy it.
What are her missions, by the way? She's supposed to be doing the most dangerous missions possible. Is she going for personal redemption to go and stop people that maybe got away along the way? Or is she going to steal the most valuable stuff that she knows she would die if she tried to steal it in the first place? I don't even know why she's doing any of this stuff.
I don't think Tini knows why she's doing any of this stuff. It would seem like the murder carnival wasn't that big of a threat to her in the first place.
You think they'd be better at murder by now?
You would think so, especially after they, inject her with Drano. This is the definition of sub-mediocre. It's not even bad enough to get mad at. It just didn't do anything.
But we do have an incredibly, incredibly unique take on Catwoman, that she's actually a cat and has 9 lives. Are there any other superstitions about cats that we think Tini Howard could explore further? What if she started walking underneath fucking ladders and people would die or something?
Yep, and give you bad luck. A black cat crossing your path if you're about to cross the street and she drives past you. Oh, you're fucked. You're definitely getting run over by a truck.
Maybe we could physically turn her into a cat. Maybe that would make the book more interesting.
Well, I mean, look,
she could grow a tail. She could purr.
She's already stealing the whole premise behind the Halle Berry Catwoman movie, which was awful, yet that's the entire premise of Selina's current power set.
Do you know why she has a power set, Doc?
because reasons.
In Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, when that meteorite shows up that Vandal Savage is looking for to give him, or to power him up, I guess, and he's going to turn people immortal, they're also going to get powers with it. And this is power that she got was 9 lives.
Well,
pretty coincidental that her name was the Catwoman.
I know,
that's
right?
The power she got. Maybe
Really?
if Batman would have been around there, he'd be blind and had to use sonar.
Yeah, he would suddenly become Daredevil.
That's the best they could come up with fucking interstellar meteorite that gives people superpowers.
You would think that it would be a little more random than that. Like, it wouldn't, I mean, it probably would have been a more interesting story if, like, she suddenly gets, like, Hulk powers.
What if she became suddenly dense and couldn't be, like...
acrobatic?
Yes, it wouldn't be light on her toes. And you're like, you can't be a cat burglar anymore. You're too dense.
Or give her,
but you
like...
could run through a wall.
Yeah, like, give her, like, juggernaut powers.
Yes.
Like... How does it fundamentally alter who Selena Kyle is when she can't be Catwoman anymore? She's the fucking juggernaut. Like, what happens? That would be kind of interesting.
Maybe she can have the cat of 9 tails on her outfit from now on. That would be something original.
Well, yeah, because they haven't already done BDSM fucking Selena Kyle
Doc,
40 times.
Is this book a catastrophe? Or do you think it's perfect?
I feel like I want to fly to the Philippines and punch you in the face for making either of those puns. This is
Tini Howard quality puns.
It's not even memorable enough to address that. It is the definition of sub-mediocrity. It's not even bad.
I'm not putting my name on this shit, dude. This is not a good comic book. I'm not recommending it.
No.
I recommend you avoid this thing like the plague.
It's not even bad enough for me to get mad at. You notice we managed to do an entire review of Worst of the Week. I didn't yell once. This entire book just made me roll my
You
eye.
couldn't even give this book side beard, could you?
I couldn't give it side beard. I've literally forgotten half of this book just while we've been talking about it.
Yeah, so if you want to avoid bad creators like the Tini Howards out there, and there are more bad creators coming into the industry every single month, not making their way up through comic books, but starting out at Marvel and DC, Doc, every single Thursday on the Patreon, Jim and I do Hot or Not. We talk about the best and worst and all the stuff in the middle from Marvel and DC. We're going to cover all the brand new debuts that week and all the big stories out there. You don't want to be the guy that accidentally buys the next Tini Howard working for DC's comic book. You're going to want the 411. That podcast comes out every single Thursday, and we cover all of it, Doc. It's well worth it.
I mean, yeah, it's giving you a lot more coverage than what you just get here. This year, all you get is me ranting about bad comics with Jim on the Patreon. Man, you cover everything. You're doing the industry a service, sir.
Absolutely. I should be getting a Purple Heart for doing this stuff.